music is directly connected to our emotions. It's almost inseparable.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spacebar. I'm here with Stewart Cowan, a good friend of mine, world traveler, musician, teacher. Tell us what you've been up to lately, Stewart.
Well, I mean, lately I live in Amarillo and teach 8th grade English. This last week was the first week of school for this new year. This will be my first official year as a full-time teacher with my own class, my own set of students. And so it's been a pretty crazy experience so far.
You've traveled all around the world. You've lived in different countries. You've lived in Germany, you've lived in the Philippines, all across the United States. In all the places that you've been, is there something that you notice about our culture and our society that either we don't recognize or just nobody talks about?
For one, there's this emphasis on our celebrities. Celebrities here are a bigger deal than they are, I feel like, in other countries. It's like all of these other countries are paying attention to what the American celebrities are doing. But the kind of criticism that one of those celebrities might get when they screw up or do something wrong, people here in the United States will crucify them for it. And then in other countries, it's not quite as harsh or nobody really cares as much. And I think that just kind of in general, Americans are, just kind of less forgiving and more passionate about their, personal beliefs, and they're, kind of willing to create distance between themselves and other people based off of what they believe more so than people in other countries. I'm a conservative Christian. I'm a liberal atheist. And that becomes like their defining thing rather than just being a person. They identify with those values.
Do you think that has, limited our growth as individuals and as a society?
I think it's one of those things, like, if you look back at, like, the American Revolution, it's something that definitely, like, helped us grow, and things like the Civil Rights Movement, be passionate about those things. And it's not that other countries haven't had their own history of those kinds of things, too, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I do feel like we live in a divided country. It doesn't feel like we get along.
What's your view on art in our society? Do you think that we should just create art for the sake of creating art, or should there actually be a meaningful intent behind artistic works?
Well, I think that it's difficult to create art just for the sake of art. I think that there's almost always going to be some kind of an intent, for creating anything. There's some kind of purpose behind it. And I think a lot of times art, the purpose that it serves is to emphasize an idea or a feeling. I think that it serves a lot of different purposes, but I do think that it's always serving a purpose.
Do you think there's a reason why so few people reach that level of world renown or that level of mastery of their craft? Is it cowardice? Is it laziness? Or is it just pure luck by the person?
I do think that it really kind of comes down to who you know and the luck, because you could be the best guy in Lubbock, Texas, and there's probably still not going to be a whole lot of people that know about your art or what you're doing, just if you don't have those connections, or if you just don't know how to
market yourself.
just like blow up in the industry or whatever.
Why do you think music plays such an important role for humans? We listen to music everywhere we go, in our cars, in stores, in elevators, in movies. It's there all the time. What do you think would happen if music just suddenly disappeared off the face of the earth?
Music is trying to serve different purposes. I think it helps create atmosphere, puts people at ease, but it also just kind of like heightens emotions. Most of the time, though, I would say that music is directly connected to our emotions. It's almost inseparable. And I would say this about all art in general, is we're emotional creatures, and it just helps us understand what that means to be emotion and how to handle emotion. It's something that we just have, kind of tethered ourselves to emotionally, or at least a lot of people, most people do.
For you personally, what has been the most influential album? You have to one throughout your entire life.
Only one.
Only one.
Okay, so it would have to be the Beatles, and it would have to be their Blue Greatest Hits album. You know, they have the Red and the Blue album. Really, my answer is both of those, because they're kind of couple them together. But if I was to just say one of them, it would be the later one, which is like their hits from 1967 to 1970. All of these really, really incredible songs, you know, they were taking psychedelics and like exploring what they could do with music really and being as creative as possible. And listening to that made me want to make music of my own as a kid. And I really loved it. And it was just something that I had to listen to all the time. Something that I knew that there was something really special about it.
If you had to pick one album that you would recommend to every person in the world to listen to, everyone watching this to listen to, would it be that album, or what album would you recommend?
Honestly, I would go with that album. The Beatles are just such a great example of good music. There's something about it that is just so familiar almost and just easy to connect to. I used to have this question that I would ask people. Imagine that somebody had never ever listened to music before, and you were tasked with like introducing them to music. What would be the first song that you showed them to say, this is what music is? And my answer for that question was always the Twist and Shout cover that the Beatles do, because I think it's just a solid like song that's fun. You know, it's not like trying to get too deep with emotions or anything like that. It's just the, you know, the rhythm and the beat and everything. It's just like a fun song, and it's like, this is what music is.
If everybody would comment and say, what album would you recommend people listen to, or what is your favorite album of all time, and let us know. Stewart, I appreciate you being here today and doing this. Do you mind playing a song for us?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's finish your beer and play a song.
Away from Amarillo, nothing in that life that I've ever seen in the sad madness, stealing all my friends so slowly in the nightlife, and they act like everything's always alright. Ooh, remember Drew, I will, fool, sarcasm cool, red and flashing the crosswalk blocked off, a fatal car crash, all you had to be high, man. And I looked to the driver's seat and I'm watching him, watching me. Ooh, despair. I should have it so much better. Would you even care if you had it better? Sneaking up through my car engine and life's telling Eli, come on. I get another phone call, some close friend has died, and I get lonely, lonely, lonely. I call up some old ex and say my love's come back to life. Crushing coke in the back bar bathroom, I have a vision. I'm 5 and hugging my mom again. Yeah, I know that I'm losing it, only